Be ready 5 seconds.
There have been misstatements by practicing lawyers by repeatedly saying that India is a federal structure. They are misleading, misstating, and misquoting. India is not federal. The center will always have a primacy. Otherwise, to govern a complicated state as complicated, as diverse as India is, will not be possible. That is why the central government of India has been given the primacy even in the constitution, and this parliament has every business, every right to correct the wrong and bring the right law. The next thing is about power and responsibility. We have seen ballots being rigged. We also understand how the panchayat elections have been conducted in West Bengal. When power vests with people who act irresponsibly, will this parliament not have the power to correct that wrong and tell people what their responsibility is, to make people answerable to the very people who have elected you? So, the answer is power and responsibility. The balance needs to be struck, and that balance is what this legislation is seeking to address. Somehow, the power structure in Delhi has been unaccountable and irresponsible. I can quote an example of the Prime Minister. When he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, we know how all kinds of fake cases were filed and how those chief secretaries used to be appointed by the central government. Did they assault them? The answer is no. You battle it out in the court of law. You battle it out by the method which is prescribed by law. But here, the chief secretary, the bureaucracy, has been put under immense pressure to do wrong things. In 2023, the Supreme Court gave control over services to Delhi government. After bringing in the ordinance, the bill has been brought in. By virtue of this, the National Capital Civil Services Authority has been established. It will have the Chief Minister, who is the presiding officer of this authority. The Home Secretary of the State of the Union Territory of Delhi is going to be the Member Secretary. The Chief Secretary of Delhi is the principal officer dealing with administrative issues. It can deal with transfers or postings of officials and disciplinary matters, sole discretion on several matters, and summoning or dissolution of Delhi Legislative Assembly. A lot has been quoted on 239 AA, entry 43. Now, I am reading that part of the judgment. It says that in view of its special status as a national capital, a scheme of administration has to be formulated by parliamentary law. If the success story of India has to be discussed, it has to be the story of aquaculture. In the last 8 years, it has grown by leaps and bounds. Almost 70% of the exports that happen from India are actually happening from Andhra Pradesh. 1 lakh farmers are dependent on this. These farmers actually pay income tax. Last year, we have seen our farmers struggle because of countries like Ecuador and Vietnam, where they had higher productions. Our chief minister had given some sort of subsidies to the farmers, but it should be more sustainable. For this, I have two small suggestions to make. To begin with, PM Matsya Sampada Yojana is a very good scheme for which you are increasing the allocation year on year. Last year, there was an increase in allocation for this scheme. But the issue is that the individual farmers are not getting benefited. Since the individual farmer is not able to access this fund, he is not able to invest in new technologies. I would like to request the minister to tweak Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana so that individual farmers can take subsidies from the central government and invest in smart feeders and smart meters to reduce the energy cost, feeding cost, and all the input costs. The second matter is with regard to sustainability and traceability. When we export to other countries, there is always a question mark whether any antibiotic has been used, where such antibiotics have been used, whether such antibiotics have been used at the farm gate level or in the hatcheries itself. We are not able to trace such things. There are 400 hatcheries in India mainly for the shrimp culture. Let the Coastal Aquaculture Authority register these 400 hatcheries and let it hold periodical inspections of these 400 hatcheries. If they fail to adhere to such things, and if any antibiotic is found at the hatchery level itself, then ban them for 6 to 8 months. Otherwise, this industry would not move forward. The third most important thing is that there is a need to increase more testing laboratories, mainly across the coastal states. Right now, there are a few testing laboratories which are accessible only to a few farmers and hatcheries. Unless we have one testing laboratory in every three parliamentary constituencies of the coastal district, farmers would not be able to access them.